Okay, hello. I've been sprung from my hostage status at the county fair. All right. I'm sorry this is late today. Okay, it's week 7, so please keep in mind, this is week 7 of a 7-week class that has been condensed from a 16-week class. So it's going to look as though, when you first look at week 7, it's going to look like you are drinking water from a fire hose, but that's not the case. Everything is laid out clearly. You can just breeze through this stuff. So, first point of housekeeping, the final exam will be live on Friday, due on Sunday. It's live on Friday, and we can, it's open book, open note, it's not timed. And it's over the textbook reading. All right, so bear that in mind. And you can just, Control F, right? To find the answers in the textbook. Okay, now, then we have several assignments. So the first assignment you have is the Constitutional Amendments assignment. 13 amendments. So the first 10 amendments are the Bill of Rights. 13 amendments, so 3 more beyond the Bill of Rights, were added to the Constitution during the time frame of our study. I want you to lay out their title, the date they passed, and that means passed both houses of Congress. They have to pass both houses of Congress before they are sent to the states. When we amend our Constitution, 75% of the states have to agree to ratify it. So it's passed and then it's ratified. It is not part of the Constitution until it is ratified. So I want the date it passed, the date it was ratified. Then, in your own words, I want you to tell me what it says. And I want it in your own words. If I see verbiage from the amendment, I'm not going to give you credit. And this is a weighty assignment. And the reason I want you to tell me in your own words with the 13, each of the 13, you do this for each of the 13 amendments, what they mean is because if you can tell me, then I know you know. And it's really important that you know. Governing documents drive the study of history. They set the tone, the expectations. They drive the study of history. You must know what they say. Plus, this particular governing document governs our lives right now. It's important for you to know. All right. So that's first, the Constitutional Amendments assignment. Also, as part of that, I linked the Emancipation Proclamation because at first glance, the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment seem to do the same thing, abolish slavery. However, the Emancipation Proclamation abolishes slavery in the rebel states. The saintly North, who was fighting the enslaving South, had slaves. So we had to have the 13th Amendment to abolish slavery nationwide. All right, then you move on to the final project assignment. I have laid it out exactly. It's essentially that skeletal outline that you did in week 5, and you're just adding a little more substance. Couple more sentences, a little more substance. Then you have a political parties assignment. And what that is, George Washington had a front row seat to the division of political parties. Thomas Jefferson was his Secretary of State, I think. Alexander Hamilton was for sure his Secretary of the Treasury. They butted heads like crazy. Thomas Jefferson is an anti-federalist. Alexander Hamilton is very much a federalist. He wants a strong federal government. Thomas Jefferson wants states' rights, strong states' rights, weaker federal government. So they were at odds. George Washington, this really bothered him. He warns against factions that form because of political parties. So there's 2 questions about George Washington's farewell address. And an easy way to find them is when you're in the document, which I linked, you just Control F, party, right? Find party. You'll have it done in no time at all. All right, then the week 7 assignment. I want you to read the Gettysburg Address. It's 1 page, easy. A big print, 1 page. Then you answer the date it was delivered, by whom it was delivered. Obviously, President Lincoln. Where, why, what's the purpose? Then there's a statement at the end of the Gettysburg Address. It says, government is of the people, by the people, for the people. Then I have you look at the first 3 words of the Constitution and tell me what they are. What are they? We the people. Then I have linked the election night reporting from the most recent primary election in June here in my home county, Montezuma County. 38.76% of registered voters voted. Is that being of the people, by the people, for the people? No, that's of the minority, for the majority. It's totally wrong. And also, if you can vote, you need to vote. I don't like being told what to do. Everything as simple as the toothpaste I use. I like what I like. I do not want to be told what to do. Nobody does. You can watch toddlers playing. What's one of the first words they learn? No, right? So I want you to understand, here's what was intended by government. Here's what government is doing. History will always inform today. Whatever happened yesterday, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, it is setting the stage for what is happening today. And I want you to see that tie. Okay, then you just have the final exam. It'll be live on Friday. Open book, open note, not time. Please reach out with specific questions. Please text me. We are harvesting wheat and planting sorghum and a little bit insane here. So please text me. That's the fastest way to get me this week. And have a great week. Ideally, everything is done by Sunday, August 2nd. But if you're in a jam, I can extend you to August 3rd. However, I need everything in by then because I have to post final grades on the 5th. So, all right, bear that in mind. I will be grading all week. Reach out with questions and have a great week.